Awesome. Also, thank you. Thank you all so much for meeting. Also, I believe if you click your screen again, you're going to be able to see a chat option. And as we go through some of the questions and topics and everything that we're going to be covering still today, I would love if y'all had any questions, just throw it on there real quick, and then we will do our best to address them all during the chat. While we're waiting on Matt to get here, let me ask you guys, I know I can't see everybody, and that's A-okay, y'all can stay that way. However, anything that you want to make sure to cover, and until he gets here, be wide open for speaking if you'd like, or do whatever you want to do. Type in whatever feels comfortable.
Mr. Marcus.
What's up, my man?
Not much.
Anything that you want to hear today or make sure it's gone over?
I don't recall what the subject is right this moment. what this 1 hour is about. I saw it this morning. I wanted to be sure I was here for it, but I can't recall what it was now.
Yeah, most definitely, man. The biggest thing for me today is Matt is actually doing a really good job of building business right now. He had a very productive first week out. Also, he's got some things in the works. Obviously, he's hitting a little bit, just like we all are, people in escrow getting worried or, this, that, and the other. That being said, though, I wanted to go through with him and talk to him about what he's doing at best practice. So that's what we're going to cover today. Essentially, making money, man. Making money.
Hey, everybody.
What's up, my man?
There he is.
How are you?
Doing great, buddy. How are you?
Doing well. Sorry I was running a little bit late. I was actually negotiating a repair proposal on the other line.
That's what I'm talking about right there. That's what I'm talking about. Very cool. Well, let me do it one more time. Everybody, until you got a question or something of that nature, go mute for me. Me and Matt are going to jump into this, and we're going to talk about some high-level stuff. I say high-level. We're going to see how smart we are today, Matt.
Yeah, let's see.
Hopefully we're not lost to everybody by the end of it, right? That's awesome. So first and foremost, I hope everybody's doing their part, being safe, social distance. Just don't see anybody. Don't talk to nobody in real life.
Don't go anywhere. Just don't do it.
Sit, just chill.
The sooner we can not go do that, the sooner we can all get back to business as usual.
Exactly right. Exactly right. Meanwhile, I'm at the office. It's really weird being at the office of 400 agents and being one of two people here, me and Cynthia.
Yeah, that's
So all good though. All good. So Matt, I'm gonna get into it, man. My biggest thing, and it always will be, always has been, is production, right?
Sure.
And I think there's always gonna be, whether it's COVID-19, whether it's a tornado, whether it's the flu season, whether it's
sure.
holidays, there's always going to be something out there. And yes, we are in very unique times now. However, how are you staying focused? How are you keeping everything moving forward?
Well, I mean, that's a great question. It's interesting. I feel like this has been a little bit different than other things I've dealt with. And part of that is because half of us have decided to self-quarantine of our own volition, and then the rest of the city seems to be functioning with business as usual. And so I keep feeling like that could be extended. So it's almost preparing for something with the unknown of what that could be. So am I looking at 2 or 3 weeks, or am I looking at 6 months? I don't really know the answer to that question. And those two answers would change what this looks like. So for me, my efforts to be productive have been to take advantage of the downtime that I have.
Yeah.
And personally, for self-health, like take advantage of that. We've gotten some house projects done. We've taken care of my family. I've spent, a lot of time just being, and I think that that's healthy, especially for us real estate professionals that are always on the go, and we're a 24-hour-a-day job anyway. It's nice to be able to force that break and force a little bit of time and take advantage of that. But then on top of that, continue to refine my systems, to look at my database, to look at what systems I'm using, what marketing I'm using, how I'm reaching out, how I'm engaging with my client and my database, and to step into that again, which I'm sure we're all doing, but refine some of those things that have been pain points that I haven't gotten to in the last 6 months and get that done, so that when I do jump back into business, I'm even more efficient, even more productive, and ready to really hit the ground running. And then while I'm at it, continue to reach out to people and utilize the circumstances to reach out, ask people if they're okay. I'm a very much a big believer in people first, always, over profit, over money, over any of the business at all. And so I have been reaching out to people without any intentions, without any motives, just reaching out to ask and make sure people are doing all right. I work a lot in luxury space, so I've reached out to a lot of my elderly clients and asked if they're all right, how they're doing, where they're at. Obviously quarantined, all of my deals fell through. I lost a little over $6 million in deals in the last week and a half at this point, that have all fallen apart because of this. So my client base is definitely concerned and definitely aware of that. So I'm checking in and asking if they need grocery delivery, or if they need, or what they need, where they need it. Some of them have asked kind of for my thoughts on the whole thing, or just wanting to talk about it and figure out, what that looks like. And while I'm no expert, I definitely can sit and so anyway, I think it's really just use this time to be even more people forward than you usually are, because the business is kind of having to go to the back burner at this point. So be people forward, build those relationships, refine your systems, and then take advantage of the downtime.
Okay, so I got that. I love this refining of the systems. Tell me specifically with refining the systems, maybe refining the database. You said those
Sure.
two. What specifically are you doing for somebody who's either been in the game for a minute and they know they need a little bit of attention to their database cleanup, or somebody that's
Sure.
just starting out? I think either one is going to be a benefit, right?
Sure, absolutely. So I'm all about efficiency and as little time as I can put in to accomplish what I need to do. So for me, it's going in and looking at my auto plans and my email plans, my marketing plans that are going out, and making sure that they make sense, adding extra triggers so that they're more personal. Extra engagement on those email marketing plans have been something that I'm working on currently. We went through a lot of our database and went and took some time to go through Facebook and comb through the internet and see if I can get birthdays and anniversaries and spouses' names and any other information I add in my database, because the more data you have, the more data you have to work with. So we took some time to comb through some of the contacts in my database that were a little less information heavy and try to figure out if I could get more information from Facebook, from anything else out there. And we've been able to fill in some of the gaps there. Going back through all my past clients, re-updating addresses, updating where they moved. We've had some of our closings that have not been updated in our database, so putting those closings in our database so that we've got all of those data points to work with and go and work with going forward. And then kind of game planning what we want to do next. We've got some folks on my team that are wanting to really farm certain areas, so we're putting together the database for that farm. We're pulling that tax data, all those addresses, so that when we can really hit the ground running, we can hit the ground running. And the mail is still going out, so you can order and do post online or whatever, and it's the postcards that are automatically delivered. So we've been sending some postcards to some people, and yeah.
So you said you're coming through Facebook with birthdays and everything of that nature. I'm about to post something, and everybody do me the favor of hitting the chat button so you can see this pop up if you don't mind. So Lori's got a question for us. We'll get to that in just a second, Lori. Thank you for putting that. This is a great way, and this actually happened to me today. Matt, what do you think about this message? It's open-ended enough to where it is a script, aka it's generic. I can send it to everybody. However, I felt like it was pretty much pointed to me. This actually came from a coach. And he said, hey, you have a birthday come up, and my birthday's in about 6-7 days. So they didn't have to do it on my birthday, right? And yet it's asking for my mailing address and my phone number. Is this kind of the Facebook health database that you're looking to do via Facebook? Make sure it works. And we may have missed Matt for a second. Let me see if I can let him know. Hey, bud. All right, so he'll be back for us in just a second. Cool. Lori, let's see here. There we go. Lori, what to tell people who are waiting on appraisals and supposed to close in 2 weeks? Have you had any communication, and you can go off mute for a minute if you like. Have you had any communication with the appraisals or with the lender themselves?
Yeah, they said, hey, we're probably going to have to ask your clients to pay a rush charge because this one's a little complicated. We also have a court date to be able to close, and I didn't want it to be like all of a sudden you don't ever know when we're going to appraisal. So they're having to pay a $200 rush fee. But
Yeah.
I got folks who are about to enter the appraisal phase and it's not a vacant house. I know if it's vacant, it's going to be a lot easier to stay on track. But one of the lenders told me that they're losing appraisers, just because people aren't wanting to go into homes. I don't know if
Okay.
that's.
Okay, so we'll get to that conversation here momentarily. Let me get right back to this now that Matt's back. I appreciate you back.
Sorry, guys.
It's technical, it happens. Matt, what do you think about this message that I posted? Is it generic enough and yet sincere enough to help with database health scores and everything? Does that pop up for you? Do you need me to resend it?
It'll pop up. Just give me a minute. Oh yeah, you might have to resend it. Sorry, because I lost you. So you'll have to resend it.
Yep, copy and paste. Here we go. What do you think about that? This came through this morning, and I actually got back to the coach that sent it to me. I was like, dude, you just enhanced your database health, and that was pretty smooth.
Yeah, it's super, super slick. It's really easy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's an easy post. And if you get responses, that'd be great. But another way to do it would be go through stories or go through any of the other parts of there, do the polls. People love to interact, especially on that technology level right now. Go through the polls, go through the tools that Facebook and Instagram both have, and I don't know, go ahead.
No, well, let's do a poll, right? Give me specifics. I'm very purposeful with giving these guys like a true step-by-step. So give me a poll that you did or that you think would work.
If you're trying to find that information, it could just be a question on the story saying, hey, putting together birthday messages for my client database or a birthday giveaway for my client database. You know, I'm going to be giving away a gift card to a local coffee shop and a chocolate bar from Olive and Sinclair. I need your birthdays and tell me your birthday. And then everyone will just answer that question. So you'll get everyone answering with their birthday right there. And that's going to be an easy way to get those birthdays put in, you know. But if you make it fun on an Instagram story or Facebook story, you have that ask a question option. And that is a great way to get that data in there.
Oh, I love that. That's awesome, man. That way you're not doing individual messages. It's just,
and it's
like a finding that old 100.
Totally. And I'm finding that engagement on just as a post is less than. So if I just put a post out there and say, hey, looking for birthdays, I'm finding that I'm getting more engagement on a story. I'm getting more engagement with an interactive piece than just the post out there. With the post, you might get a few, but I'm getting more engagement on the story side.
There's one thing that I love about stories versus posts is, you know, people would scroll, right? And they would take a look. However, they don't always like or they don't always comment. With the stories, you know exactly who saw it, right?
100%. Yep.
Yeah, that's perfect, man.
You know, and then you can go reach out to those people and say, hey, I know you saw my story. What's your birthday?
Yeah. All right. So just getting real because Facebook to grow our database or enhance it or database health score, whatever you want to call it, that's great. Matt, you just got kicked in the teeth, man. 6 million out.
A little
like
bit.
I've got to address it, right? Because we've got some agents, you know, they may lose 1 or 2 deals, or maybe they had some people in the pipeline or aren't moving forward for a minute. You literally had 6 million out there, and you know we got kicked. So how are you staying positive? How are you staying optimistic? What are you doing to keep yourself in the right frame of mind?
You're asking me that about an hour after I had a mini meltdown. So we're in good shape right now, right?
Yeah.
No, I mean, honestly, it's a hard thing. I'm not going to lie. It's a hard thing, but here's the thing. We're not alone. No one's alone in this. Everyone on the planet right now is in the same boat. Everyone's lost business. Everyone's trying to figure out how to make ends meet. People are trying to figure out how to pay their mortgage. And there's lots of options out there. You know, a lot of mortgage companies are doing deferments. A lot of, you know, taxes are obviously pushed till July 15th. A lot of, you know, the electric and water are doing that. Phone bills are deferring. So everyone seems to be trying to figure out how to make this work. So
1 second, Matt. I'm sorry. Hey, Ruben, if you don't mind, man, you got some background. Hit mute for me. That way we can hear Matt crystal clear. Just hit your screen in the bottom left. And everybody who's not talking, if you don't mind, thanks, buddy. I appreciate you.
Yeah.
Matt, keep going, bud. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no worries. So I think to stay, you know, positive, it's try to stay in that routine that you're used to as much as possible.
Yeah.
Stay busy as much as possible. I find that when I'm still doing something, I still feel like I'm working. I feel like, okay, we're still moving forward. And in real estate, here's the thing. from the highest level agent to your brand new agents, this is an ebb and flow industry. And even when there is no coronavirus, when there is no tornado, when there is no whatever else, it's an ebb and flow industry anyway. So you're going to have your high season when everything's busy, and you're going to have your low season when everything's not. And that just is the way that this works. And usually this is our high season, and it's obviously not. So I think that that is a cause for stress, but just reverse that curve and know that this is that lower season when it's not busy, but still be doing as much as you can in the meantime to build that pipeline, to know that in 2 months or a month or whenever this is over, that you're going to hit the ground with lots of business to do. And my guess is that at that point, it's actually going to be a big spike in all of our business, and we're all going to be complaining that we're too busy because everyone is not buying and selling right now. Things are falling apart. Those people aren't gone. They're not going to make real estate moves. They're going to make real estate moves. Everyone's waiting to see how COVID plays out. So I just have a feeling that all of that is going to condense to that back end. And so that 3 months from now, whatever, we're all going to feel a pretty big spike in our business, I would assume. So in the meantime, to stay positive, know that you're not alone. I mean, I think know that you're not alone. Talk to other people about it. Be okay expressing that you're struggling. Be okay expressing that it's been tough, or that you lost business, or that whatever, you know, it's okay to not have it all together at this moment. Like I said, I just had my mini meltdown an hour ago, so we're in good shape now. Drink a cup of coffee, work on your database, talk to some people, hang out with your kids. Again, just try to put yourself in some healthy patterns, some healthy routine that's going to make this feel as normal as it possibly can, and take advantage of the fact that it's a low season and work from your front porch, work from your living room. You know, enjoy the benefits of this as well, because there are definitely some benefits here as well, and there are things to take advantage of. And again, one of the biggest things to take advantage of is the fact that everyone's feeling it and you're not alone. So reach out to your database, touch your database. This is the best touch you can have, is to reach out and say, how you doing?
Yeah.
You know?
I love that. And we wake up every day with the exact same thing, right? And you said a few things, so let me catch up. And everybody here, I would like for you to write this down, just as a mental check. Two different things. And Matt, you can tell me if you agree or not. You said it just a minute ago in your own way. Activity breeds activity. All right.
100%.
And I've seen that my entire career. So write that down, everybody. Activity breeds activity. Instead of staying stagnant, instead of, saying, yeah, we had a mini meltdown, and that's okay. And okay. Be okay. Give yourself some grace if that happens, right? Like Matt's doing right here. However, I mean, because you're human, we're not machines. However, sitting on the couch and not doing anything is not going to serve you. It's not going to serve your clients. It's not going to get you anywhere. And while you may be doing activities that don't reap the exact same rewards that they did 10 days ago, a month ago, whatever it may be, like I agree, and what he said, man, when this is freed up, that $6 million of business didn't disappear. It's just delayed. It's going to be there unless he disappears and he no longer stays in touch with them. Right? So your people are going to be there. All right. And it's okay to freak out just a little bit. Just don't let it happen all day. Right?
Totally. Well, and I don't think you move forward in fear and desperation, because we've all known that fear and desperation with your clients is read and known, and there's nothing that's going to kill your business faster than if you're desperate and moving forward based in fear, and that's not going to help. So activity breeds activity. I think that's it. We've all felt any agent that's done a decent amount of business has felt that time when momentum starts coming. And as that momentum comes, it's all of a sudden I wasn't busy, and now I've got 10 deals going on. That momentum just builds and snowballs. So right now, basically our snowball crashed, and we're rebuilding that snowball right now. So start repacking that snowball and getting that momentum building again. And then when this is over in 2 months, your momentum will be built, and you'll be ready to coast right into a good amount of business over the summer.
I love that. Repack the snowball.
Repack the snowball.
I like that a lot, man. And you also said one other thing, right? Everybody's feeling it, right? And yet you are choosing to look at the things to be grateful for.
100%.
How often do we get the chance to say, hey, stay home, don't leave, right? Whereas other times we're like, oh my gosh, I got to show this house, and it's like their 45th house that they want to see, and I'm missing my dinner, my kids, or you're missing this stuff. And yet right now it's like the world is saying, hey, just enjoy it, right? There's
a meme going around that I've liked quite a lot, and it's like, guys, for the first time in history, and probably not in history, but for the first time forever, the entire world, we're going to save the entire world by sitting at home and watching our TV. Let's not screw this up.
Yeah.
And I think that's spot on. I think we actually have an opportunity here to breathe a little bit. And while the uncertainty is unnerving, but we have an opportunity to breathe, to find things that we're grateful for that we haven't been able to be grateful for before, or that when we were really busy, we were wishing that we could sit at home and drink a cup of coffee on our porch, So take advantage of that, take the low time as a good time, and take advantage of the fact that you get to work on a lot of the parts of our business that we don't usually get a lot of time to focus on.
Yeah.
Now we can focus on those parts of our business so it runs better when we're back into business as usual.
I love that. Very cool, man. Very cool. You've hit some really good points today, and I greatly appreciate it. Is there anything, and I ask this to everybody who I mastermind with, is there any question that I didn't ask that you think I should in order to benefit all the folks that are on this phone call right here?
It's a great question. I think one of the things that, and I'm just kind of getting my head around it too, is figuring out so I'm a musician as well. And I had a wise producer say to me that even the biggest artists, really about the majority of their income, 85% of their income is from 5% of their fan base. And what that means is that if I can play to that 5% of my fan base and just really focus on that 5% of my fan base, I'm making about the same amount of money that I'm making if I'm focusing on all the other stuff as well. What that allows me to do is to really preserve my time and my energy and focus around the business that's going to ultimately make a difference. I would say that that's probably very true in real estate as well. There is 5% of your client, of your database, of your relationships, of your sphere that's going to generate the majority of your business.
There you go.
I think it'd be a good time to really kind of sit down and figure out what that 5% is, what that niche is for you. If it's a certain neighborhood, when I think of farming, I always go to Tiffany Fikes. Fikes Group is fantastic at farming. Creve Hall, they own that neighborhood, and they're really good at that and focused around their neighbors and around those groups. Maybe it's a luxury. Maybe your prime is that $100,000 to $150,000 range, and you're doing 150 deals a year on that. Wherever your niche is, wherever your focus is, take this time to really hone into that focus, because that's where the majority of your business is coming from anyway. So while normally we might be looking how to expand our business outside that niche, I think this is the perfect time to really hone in to that core part of your business and who you are as an agent and what you do as an agent, and really just dive in there and try to cultivate that business and for that business, because that's the space that you own. So own that space and make sure that you own that space. So in 2 months, when it comes back, your primary piece of your business is still very much intact.
I love that. In Bold, they teach that 20% of your database accounts for 80% of your total
80% of your business.
It's
exactly.
The 80/20 rule. So it's the exact same concept of what the producer told you.
Yeah.
How cool would it be for some of the agents listening? And hey, man, for us, we're still selling real estate, right? It's not like we don't do that at a high level. So why don't we all really narrow in on that database and pick out a top 20, pick out a top 50, right? And say, man,
right.
I'm going to treat these people like absolute gold, right?
Right.
Right. And I love that. I love that concept, because how much
figure out where your referrals are coming from. Figure out where those who are really believing in you are coming from.
Yes.
And really focus there, because there are agents in our office. Lisa Bray does an extraordinary amount of business, and it's 100% referral.
Right.
She doesn't buy anything. She doesn't fight for any of it. It's just cultivating that small pocket of referral groups that she focuses on, and she does an incredible amount of business through that. So this is a great time to really hone in and figure out and try to stay in your lane, if you will. This is a good time to stay in your lane and really drive in that lane and do it well. If you can stay in your lane, do it well, and really and hone in what that 20% of business is for you, then I think you're probably still going to do a lot of business even while we're, uncertain. And then when things come back, you're just teed up to dive back in and be able to recover quickly And then you can start looking at expanding the business if that's what you want to do going forward from there. But for the moment, I think it's good to focus on where your strength is, where your niche is, where your, what your business has come from so far. For newer agents coming into it, figure out what that niche needs to be, figure out who's in your sphere and who they are and what they are, and dive into that demographic, dive into that buyer pool. Because that's where the majority of your business is going to come from. Your quality, loyal, long-term, refer you everybody they know business is going to come from. Dive into those people.
And it would be the movers and shakers, right? The people who own businesses, the people who have a service, have something where they're interacting with a lot of people, the social butterflies, people like
Sure.
that, those are going to be your vendor people, right?
Sure.
2 to 4 referrals per year, if not more,
It could just be a good friend who, it could be a good friend who just really believes in you and knows people and champions you. One of my best clients that I've ever had was just a friend. I sold them their house. They liked me. And I think I've probably worked 24 deals with her and her family on the buy sell side. All of her family bought from me, all her friends bought from me. And it's one of those things where in her regular everyday conversation, she's saying, by the way, if you need a realtor, I know Kirkegaard. Like it's a consistent, like she's bringing it into her conversations. You need to find those people. So sit with your database, find those people and dive into those people and say, hey, I'm here. And I want to make sure you know that I'm grateful for you and I appreciate you and I'm here.
Well, and the only way to do that is to call them, right?
That's right.
That's
100%.
it. We got to call.
Get on the phone. This is the best thing about quarantine is you can get on the phone.
Hey, and they ain't got nothing going on. They're home waiting on you. Yeah, they ain't got nothing. They ain't out.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. You're going to get answers on the phone right now, whereas other times you might not. So this is a great time to be on the phone.
I love it. All right. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just, out of respect of time, we've got a few more minutes here. I'm going to open it up.
Cool.
Lori's got a question as far as does he use a Facebook purchase funnel to drive leads? Matt, are you buying leads on Facebook yet? Or are you talking to just your database on Facebook?
I have before. I'm not now. I'm not buying any leads right now. All my purchase leads kind of went away and I haven't dove into anything else yet. But I have purchased leads on Facebook. I have done some Facebook marketing. I think targeted ads are really worthwhile if you know how to do them and you know how to set them up and really for specific endeavors. So specific listing, a specific project, a specific open house or whatever. I think that a paid lead on Facebook can be beneficial just to boost your brand. I have not seen any return for paying for Facebook leads, Facebook ads, just to boost my brand, my name. I haven't seen that come back. So most of mine has been specifically reaching out to my friends sphere that I have on Facebook.
Well, and in all honesty, to speak to that, with what we've got right now, the shift book does not say, hey, it's a shift in market, go buy leads. It says hold your expenses to the lowest possible, right? So actually working our database is
100%.
about where we're supposed to be. That's awesome.
100%.
Okay.
And I would say that that's spot on. I would say that's spot on for sure. Buy less leads now than you did before. Just work your database harder.
Yeah. And unless you're seeing a 4, 5, 6 to 1 return or better, right, on anything that you're investing in, scrap it, like immediately done with it. If you're investing $1 and getting 4 back, keep it. Don't do it any more further if it's not. So, okay, great. And Lori, I think if you don't mind, Lori, I'd like to talk to you just one-on-one about the appraisals and closings. I think that is going to be more of a situational, depending on timing and everything. I'm going to open it up.
I kind of came in on the last part of that. I will say I've had a couple of appraisers that have backed out because they don't go in people's houses now. I just had several loans that have decided to fall through because they're sticking to the super qualified, very QM loans right now. So I anticipate some change over the next month in that too, and that might kill a couple deals as well. But again, this is all going to level out in a month, 2 months, whatever it is. But just hang tight for the moment.
Yeah, and I think to speak to that too, and I think is he froze for you guys too? Give me a quick nod. Oh, now he's back. There we go. I think to speak to that.
Sorry,
too,
guys.
No, you're fine. Go ahead and kind of set the stage for some of your clients who may be in that. Be like, look, if something comes up, it's okay. We'll navigate this together, and yet just be ready for maybe a couple extra hurdles, right? And if you set that expectation and they don't come up,
exactly,
then you're good. If they do come up, you've already set it. So
Great.
that's perfect. All right,
Yep.
so I'm gonna
And
open
then
it up.
just prep them for some delays. There might be delays.
Yeah, yeah. All right, I'm gonna open it up, guys. Any questions that you've got for Matt? And you can either hit unmute or you can type it in. I'll give a couple seconds. Sounds like somebody's trying to talk. Okay. Well, Matt, buddy, I appreciate your time. You did an outstanding job, man. I appreciate the insight that you brought to us. Thank you for showing value at a high level, bud.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Y'all have a great rest of the day, okay?
Alrighty. Yep. All right. Bye, everybody.
See y'all.